Assisi is a historic hill town in the Umbria region of central Italy, renowned for its rich religious and cultural heritage. It is best known as the birthplace of Saint Francis of Assisi, one of the most revered saints in Christianity and the founder of the Franciscan order. Assisi developed as a significant religious centre during the Middle Ages, with many medieval structures and art that have been preserved. Assisi remains a major pilgrimage destination, attracting visitors worldwide who come to honour St. Francis and experience its spiritual ambience. The town hosts various religious festivals, including the Feast of St. Francis on October 4th. Assisi is accessible by train and road from major Italian cities like Rome and Florence. Around 119 in Assisi, Italy, into a wealthy merchant family. Giovanni di Pietro di Bernardone, later called Francesco the Frenchman, by his father, he lived a relatively carefree life, influenced by the wealth and social status of his family. After a series of personal and social experiences, including a period of illness and imprisonment during a local conflict, he experienced a spiritual awakening. He renounced his family's riches and embraced a life of radical poverty. He began living a life dedicated to prayer, simplicity, and service to others. He sought to live out the gospel literally, emphasizing humility, poverty, and love. Founded around 1209, also known as the Franciscans, emphasizing poverty, charity, and peace. His followers traveled across Europe, establishing communities that focused on caring for the poor and preaching. Known as the patron saint of animals and the environment, he believed all creation was a reflection of God's love. Around 1224, he received the stigmata, wounds resembling those of Christ, making him the first recorded person to bear the wounds of Christ. His life was marked by a deep humility and dedication to living simply and serving others. He died October 3, 1226 in Assisi. He was canonized as a saint in 1228 by Pope Gregory IX, just 2 years after his death, celebrated on October 4th in the Roman Catholic Church. The tomb of St. Francis of Assisi is a significant religious and historical site located in the Basilica of St. Francis of Assisi. This basilica is one of Italy's most important religious structures and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is dedicated to St. Francis, the founder of the Franciscan order. St. Francis was originally buried in a simple grave on the site of the current basilica after his death in 1226. Following his canonization in 1228, the tomb was enclosed within a larger basilica structure. The current basilica was constructed over the tomb site, beginning in 1228 and completed in 1253. The tomb is located in the crypt beneath the basilica, specifically in the lower church or crypt of St. Francis. The tomb is a simple stone slab inscribed with Latin, marking the resting place of St. Francis. It is modest, reflecting his vow of poverty. The tomb also contains relics associated with St. Francis and other Franciscan saints. Pilgrims visit the tomb to pay respects, pray, and seek spiritual blessings. The tomb is adorned with frescoes, sculptures, and inscriptions that depict scenes from St. Francis's life and his spiritual legacy. The basilica also houses relics of St. Francis, including his clothing and other personal items. Basilica is a prime example of Gothic architecture with Romanesque elements. Its layout includes two superimposed churches, the Upper Basilica and the Lower Basilica. Upper Basilica, known for its striking facade, it is characterized by a large rose window and a simple yet majestic facade. Lower Basilica features more subdued exterior but houses significant frescoes and tombs. The basilica is famous for its extensive and exquisite fresco cycles depicting the life of Saint Francis and scenes from the Old and New Testaments. Artists such as Cimabue, Giotto and Cimabue's workshop contributed to these artworks. The frescoes in the basilica are considered masterpieces of medieval art and are crucial for understanding 13th century religious art and storytelling. Giotto's work, in particular, marked a significant development in Western art, with vivid storytelling and emotional expression. The basilica is a spiritual centre for millions of Catholics and Franciscans worldwide. It hosts numerous religious ceremonies, especially on the feast day of St. Francis, October 4th. It is also a symbol of humility, peace, and devotion, reflecting St. Francis's teachings.
It's Holly. Picture books. All those stories that you see just like reading the book, picture books. Of course, everything is. When the Pope sits there, and only the Pope can sit there, cardinals and bishops sit around.